Welcome to Ramark Tower Corporation. Today, we're bringing you a masterclass on protecting working capital through paper and FX hedging. If you're operating at scale, importing agricultural goods, softs, or energy commodities, and holding serious inventory, we are breaking down the definitive playbook for taking back control of your margins and protecting cash flow. Let's get right into it.
The harsh reality is that typical commodity trading margins sit in a tight 5 to 11% window, razor-thin margins as meaning zero buffer for error. A single bad market swing can wipe out months of hard work. Here's how easily that margin can vanish. A currency shift of just 1 peso and 50 centavos on a $200,000 payable translates to roughly a 300,000 peso loss. One tiny fluctuation can wipe out an entire trade's profit before the ship even docks. So here's our roadmap for taking back control. The 3 import risks. The component pricing method, FX and NDF hedging. Which commodities can't be hedged? Inventory carryover risk. Using commodity swaps as price insurance, and finally, the weekly risk check.
Let's start with Section 1, the 3 import risks deconstructing the threat. The classic mistake importers make is treating the final supplier price as one massive monolithic number. Accepting a single bundled price means you're flying blind, accepting whatever the market dictates on the final day of shipment. But that final price is actually made up of 3 distinct exposures: the commodity price itself, the basis, and the foreign exchange rate. Let's spotlight that second risk, basis. Basis is the premium added on top of the futures price. It represents real-world friction: freight rates, port congestion, vessel availability. Basis can widen out and crush your margins even while the underlying commodity futures are falling. Moving to Section 2, component pricing regaining control. To fix this monolithic pricing problem, we move away from the traditional method where a supplier quotes a single bundled price and you simply accept it. Component pricing separates the commodity futures, the basis, and the FX, letting you lock in attractive levels for each, independent of the others. For example, a final price of $350 per metric ton is simply soybean meal futures at $315, plus a supplier basis of $35. If futures dip to a great price today, lock the futures layer now. Lock the basis layer later when freight rates drop. You take the power back. Section 3. FX, the margin destroyer. For many importing companies, this is the most critical immediate threat. You buy your commodities in US dollars, but sell in Philippine pesos. A routine shift from 57 to 60 pesos to the dollar creates an instant 3 million peso loss on a $1 million payable for the exact same shipment. Because FX can obliterate a 5 to 11% margin faster than any physical commodity move, FX hedging must be priority number 1. Use tools like Non-Deliverable Forwards, or NDFs, to independently lock in currency rates. Once that currency threat is neutralized, the second priority is hedging core inventory, for example, palm oil or soybean meal, followed by secondary products like palm kernel expeller or soybean oil, where a liquid market exists. So, how does a non-deliverable forward, or NDF, actually work? Think of it as a purely financial contract with an NDF provider that locks in your exchange rate today for a future payment date, without requiring any upfront capital or physical currency delivery and maturity. Let's look at the mechanics. You agree with a provider to fix your rate, say 57 pesos to the dollar. When your supplier payment becomes due, you don't actually buy dollars from each other. Instead, you simply compare the prevailing market rate against your locked rate and settle the net difference in cash. This protection works both ways. If the peso weakens to 60, your physical import cost spikes by 3 pesos per dollar, but the bank pays you that exact 3 peso difference. That cash gain flows straight into your ledger, completely offsetting the physical loss. If the peso strengthens to 55 instead, You pay the provider the 2 peso difference, but you turn around and purchase your physical dollars at that lower, highly favorable market rate. In both scenarios, the financial hedge and physical transaction perfectly balance each other out. Your effective exchange rate remains locked right at 57 pesos, turning currency volatility into predictable costs and fully protected margins. Let's look at a real-world example. A Philippine importer purchases $1 million worth of soybean meal. At 57 pesos per dollar, the payable equals 57 million pesos. Before payment is made, the peso weakens to 60. Without protection, the same shipment now costs 60 million pesos. 3 million pesos disappeared without buying a single extra ton. With an NDF hedge in place, that currency loss never materializes. Before we move on, it's important to understand that not every commodity can be hedged directly. Only commodities with active and liquid derivatives markets offer efficient hedge instruments. These include crude oil, natural gas, soybean meal, soybeans, corn, wheat, palm oil, metals, and major currencies. The reason is simple. Derivatives require deep, liquid financial markets with enough buyers and sellers to support efficient price discovery and risk transfer. These products have a board or an exchange to deal in. Products such as palm kernel expeller, copra meal, or other specialty commodities often have no direct futures market. Instead, companies manage their exposure by hedging against closely related benchmark commodities, a strategy known as cross-hedging. Let's talk about Section 4, Inventory Carryover Risk, the Silent Drain. You've survived the import journey. The product is off the ship and in your facility, but now a new risk begins. Picture a company that imports diesel, buying a cargo in May at a fixed cost of $100 a barrel. They sell some, but carry the rest into June. If June prices drop, their selling price drops too, but they're still anchored to that fixed cost. They get crushed on every barrel sitting in the tank. Now apply that same logic to your palm oil and soybean meal silos. If you buy 500 metric tons of palm oil at 70,000 pesos per ton, and the market drops to 66,000 before you sell, that's 2 million pesos lost in value, while the product just sat there doing nothing. Here's the math. Holding 1,000 tons of palm oil at $1,250, a $100 drop means a $100,000 loss. Hold 500 tons of soybean meal, and the market drops $20. That's a $10,000 loss. It happens instantly, and a fixed purchase cost offers zero defense. This brings us to Section 5, Swaps as Price Insurance, the mechanical solution to stop the bleeding on unsold stock. Here's the core idea. When you buy physical inventory, you lock in a rigid fixed cost, say $100. By selling a financial swap at $99, you convert that rigid cost into a protected position. When prices fall, the inventory loses value, but the swap gains value. The two positions offset each other, helping preserve your margin. It's a clean, 3-step operational life cycle. Step 1, you buy physical inventory, locking your cost. Step 2, you sell a swap, instantly protecting the price and floating the cost. Step 3, you sell the physical inventory to your customer and simultaneously unwind your swap to close the hedge. And importantly, a swap is purely a cash-settled financial contract. No physical delivery required. So how does a commodity swap actually work? Unlike purchasing physical inventory, a commodity swap never involves taking delivery of oil, soybean meal, or palm oil. Think of it as financial price insurance. Unlike insurance, however, no premium is paid up front. Instead, the gain or loss is determined by how market prices move relative to the agreed swap price. Suppose you purchase 1,000 metric tons of palm oil today at $1,250 per ton. At the same time, you enter into a swap at that same market price. If market prices later fall to $1,150, your physical inventory loses $100 per ton in value. But your swap gains exactly that same amount. The financial gain offsets the decline in your inventory value, leaving your overall position largely protected. When the inventory is finally sold, the swap is closed, completing the hedge. No physical commodity ever changes hands through the swap itself. Only the cash difference between the agreed price and the market price is settled. Let's look at an actual example. A company purchases 1,000 metric tons of palm oil at $1,250. 1 month later, prices fall by $100. Without hedging, the company immediately loses $100,000 in inventory value. With a commodity swap, the financial contract earns approximately $100,000. The inventory declines in value. The swap increases in value. Together, the company preserves its margin. Remember, hedging doesn't solve everything. It's a tool that helps preserve margin. Even after hedging, companies still need to continue managing operational risks such as basis changes, freight costs, storage losses, financing costs, and customer credit risk. Before we conclude, remember these 5 principles. Understand your exposure. Separate your price components. Hedge what matters most. Review your risk every week so you can protect margins, not predictions. Let's wrap up with Implementation Section 6, the regular risk check. This is where the theory becomes your daily reality. And let's be clear, using swaps and NDFs is not gambling. It's not speculating, it's the exact opposite. It's a mandatory, routine discipline used by every major trading house on Earth to stabilize gross margins and protect working capital. To implement this, your procurement desk needs a standing weekly checklist with 4 questions. What inventory is already purchased? How much of that remains unsold and sitting in silos? What is the exact financial loss to the company if the market drops 5% tomorrow? And should that exposure be hedged? Through RATC's derivatives and risk management desk and its strategic market partners, clients gain access to customized hedge policy development, risk policy implementation, FX hedging, commodity swaps, cross-hedging strategies, inventory risk analytics, market intelligence, treasury support, and structured enterprise risk management programs tailored to their procurement and supply chain requirements.
Look at your own current inventory right now. Look at your unsold stock. Are you really willing to let a sudden currency shift or a commodity price crash dictate your year-end profitability? The tools to protect your margins are sitting right in front of you. Remember, successful hedging isn't about beating the making extra profits. It's about protecting the profits you've already earned.
Let us know if you have any questions. Thanks for joining us in this explainer video, and we'll catch you next time.
Professional traders don't predict markets. They manage risk. Success doesn't come from knowing where markets will go. It comes from being prepared, no matter where they go.